Well, g'day everyone. Recently, DESVIEW contacted me to see if I'd be interested in doing another monitor review, and I thought, look, I've done so many, but when they told me about this, I thought, well, it sounds like a really good small type monitor that might be ideal, particularly for me putting on my Rowan SC2, the gimbal that I've got. So I said, yeah, send it to me. So they did. So it's this actual unit here. I'll switch over so you can see it live on this camera. So this is it. So it's the DESVIEW R6. And the interesting thing about this one is it's 2,800 nits. That was one of the things that really excited me about this unit because it's quite small. It's only 5.5 inches, I believe, but it's the nits that are really impressive in this. So this could be a fantastic monitor to use outside, and I will test all these for you so you can have a look and just see how it performs. But so let's unbox it. So we'll have a look at what's in the kit itself. You can just see on here before we do unbox it, it's saying 4K, HDR, you can do 3D LUTs, it's got 2,800 nits, and it's called the R6 UHB, ultra high brightness. So let's take it out and see what's in here. So in the box itself, you've just got a manual, which I'll have to look through. Like I said, I haven't even looked at this yet. Cloth. Now the monitor itself is inside this little bag. Let me just have a look. So this is the monitor itself. Ooh, time to take the... Ooh, look at that. So satisfying. So this is the monitor. Obviously, you can take your normal F970 batteries and stuff like that in here. So we've also got in here as well, there's an Allen key. These are your HDMI cables. So it looks like you've got a mini to a full HDMI in there. And you've also got a full HDMI to full HDMI, which will be very, very handy with my Sony camera. And then you've got a little hot shoe or cold shoe mount at the top that you could screw this in to your body as well, your cage or the camera body. Feels really nice, actually. Oh, it even comes with a card. It's interesting. Or is it just a holder? No, it does come with it. It's got a card in there. I'm not sure whether that's included or whether it's just in mine. I'll have to check. Looks like you've got a little bit of heat here that can escape from the fan. Obviously, you'd have to watch that about weatherproofing. You've got your mounting point here and also a mounting point, I think, on this side as well. On this side here, if I turn this up, you've got your HDMI in, HDMI out, DC in as well. So you could run it from DC in as well. You've got an 8-volt DC out, headphone socket through here. Like I said, you can put your card in. That's also how you'll probably do firmware and things. I'll have to read up about what all this does. Looks like it's got plenty of areas where the heat can escape, and that's fine with that. Like I said, if it was wet or whatever, I probably just wouldn't use it. But it looks really nice. It feels really nice in your hand. Like the build quality feels good. Yes, it's plastic, but it does feel really good. Power button here. So what we can do now is I'll grab some batteries and we'll have a look at how the whole system works. Okay, so let's switch it on. So I'm just going to press the power button and the monitor will turn on. You can see it just gives you a little preview there to let you know that it's actually on. Now, this is the unit itself. So I've had to just underexpose it a little bit because I want to show the menus coming through this. You can see if I increase the exposure through here, you'll see that it would brighten up, but I want to make sure that you can see all of the menus, so I'm just going to underexpose it just a little bit because I'm going to show you how much sort of menus there are in this. It's pretty amazing what this will do. It's also, it probably isn't going to show on this, but it's probably the sharpest monitor that I've actually got. So let's come over here and I'll just click, it is touch interface, so if I blow this up and then move this around, you'll see that it will move around. So if you wanted to get critical focus, you can sort of check that way. And then if I move the focus here in and out, you can see that I've now got that pretty well in spot in focus. You can also move this around too if you want to move that way. It shows you where it's sort of relative onto the screen. If I bring that back down, now there's two little things that you do on either side of this monitor. If I come on to the right hand side and then move up and down, this will change your volume. If I use the left hand side, it will change the brightness of the screen. So that's really nice. If I click down the bottom and double click, you then get a menu that comes up as well. And I'll show you this in a couple of different ways. If I click on menu button over here, it then opens up all the menus that are in the system itself. The shortcut is what's showing down the bottom, and your thing over here is just to open up some of the items as well. For instance, if I click on exposure assist, you then get a whole stack of options that you can turn on through here as well. For instance, if I wanted to turn on zebras, here I can just click on the zebras and then I can grab the amount that I would like to put in. So you just put the figure in that relates to what you're after, whether it's skin tones or whether you'd like to set up to a grey card, etc. You can do all that through here as well. If I turn it completely off, that's closed. Your histogram can be now brought on. Now you've got two ways you can do this. So you can have brightness, so it will just show it like that, or you can have it showing in RGB as well. So there's two ways that you can show it. You can also change the transparency as well through here to be completely transparent, or partly see-through as well. You can change your position as well. So if you wanted to move it around, I can just use these to move it around to where I want it to go. So that's looking at that. I'm going to close them all off just to show each one. You've got a waveform here as well, so you can show luminance, and as I change the exposure, you'll see that that will move up and down as well. I love using those waveforms. You can also show it as an RGB if you want to as well. And again, you can change your transparency and also the location through here too. So, it's great. Again, I'll just turn this off. You've got vector scopes on there as well. If I go open, this is how you could check perfect skin balance, or if you have any casts and things like that. And again, you can move that around to wherever you'd like it to go to. If I close that, you can say all waves on. That will open up everything, as you see in this instance. If I tap onto these, you can change them as well. So you'll notice if I tap onto them, they will change, which is great too. You can notice also the audio is showing at the top through here as well. There's also HDR as well. If you turn that on, it will put on LG. If you're using HLG, HDR, you can turn that on and it will sort of give you a view of how it will look in the camera. So that's that side of it. So that's all the exposure assist. You've then got focus and composition through here as well. So you have got focus peaking through here, and you can change the color as well. So you can go from your green, red. You can see now the focus peaking is showing up. If I move the focus on this, you can see how it disappears. Now, obviously, if you wanted to and it was conflicting, you can then go to green if you'd like, blue, or white as well if you want to. Now, you can also bring up the strength here from weak up to strong. Actually, that's just a white color. So if you move that on, it will give it a really hard edge, and it's a bit softer, or it's lighter, the edge, if you bring it down to the weak area. So you've also got center marks as well. If I tap onto this, you'll see that they show up in the color that you actually select. So you've got red, green, blue, and white there as well. And you've also got a little gray one too. So let's come down and turn this one off. We've also got safe areas, so you can set up what your safe area is if you want to use that. You've got mark ratio, so this is where you can choose your ratios. Like I often like to shoot 235.1, so if you wanted to, you could drag that up and shoot that, and it'll show you the marker there. And you can even change the color of these markers as well. It just depends on where you'd like to set this up. You've also got whether you'd like it low or high in the transparency as well. So it's really powerful. It's got so many options that you can choose here. I'm just going to turn that off. You've got grid lines that you can show as well. So here you can set up all your grid lines. And again, you can change all those colors. And this is where you can turn your audio meters. Now, at the moment, it's on left, but you can go right if you wanted to go that way. So you've got control of that as well. So you really have full control over almost everything. LUTs config, at the moment, you can put LUTs onto this, so you can directly download them. I've just got one now that's S-Log3. If I say open, you'll see it changes because it's got the S-Log for my Sony cameras built into this, but I haven't got it on the camera at the moment, so that's why it looks a bit strange. If I close it, it will take it off. So you can download multiple LUTs to this, depending on what you'd like to use. Let me go here That's where you go custom LUT. You can put your custom LUTs in. Let me just close that. Now display settings, this is where you can do it. You can flip your display around if you'd like to, so it'll flip. This is how you set your zoom. You can have just 2x zoom or 4x zoom through there. So you've also got pixel to pixel, you've got HV delay, and you can also freeze, so you can grab a freeze frame from what you're seeing in here and then just capture that as well. You can even use anamorphic too, so you've got close, you've got 1.33 times, 1.5 times, 1.66 times, 179 times, and 2 times as well. So you've got a lot of control if you want to use anamorphic too. And then the menu config down here, with the color control here too, this is where you can change your brightness, sharpness, backlight, contrast, and also saturation as well. Color temperature, you can completely calibrate this for your color temperature if you wanted to match your certain look. So you can calibrate this visually. You've got sound, which you can mute. You can turn that up or down, the volume, or you could just use the swipe like I was doing before. You've got battery and fan. It's got auto, low, medium, and high. There's update here where you do your firmware updates, and then this is the status as well. It tells you what your camera settings are at the moment and what's coming through. Like at the moment it's saying the resolution is 3840 by 2160. That tells you what the color temperature is, the volume as well, and it also tells you what the version of firmware is that you've got on your device, and tells you what your backlight setting is and things like that. So it's quite powerful. Now down the bottom, you've got some other little things. A lot of these menus are represented on the side that I showed you through there too. But there is some things which are really good, like your false color. You've got the full spectrum, so that's your normal false color, but you've also got the RE false color as well. And I love that because it basically, what it does, it shows in green where you've got your middle gray. So that's great if you'd like to expose middle gray skin tones or things like that. So this is really handy to have. And again, you just turn them off if you don't want them. You've got your zebras there, then I said like you can just turn that up and you'll see the zebras have now appeared, whatever setting you'd like. This is where you just turn on your histogram and things like that. So these settings are sort of represented the same as before, and this is how you change where the locations are to what I showed you before. So it's really good. This is your turning on your peaking. This here is if you want to use single color, so you can, if you wanted to, you could just look at the channels in red, green, blue, or black and white if you'd like to go that way. Let me just turn that off. This is where you can turn your HDR on. If I come over here, this is where you'll put your LUTs in, and you can see I've just got S-Log in through here. I've only got the one LUT at the moment. Down here, that's your anamorphic. This is your aspect ratio. This is your grids, center point, and then this is your safe area. And this is your ratios as well for if you'd like to use your 235.1 like I said before. This will swap it, image flip, vertical flip, etc. And this is also audio meters left and right. So it's got an awful lot of control that you can do from this device. Okay, so let's have a look at the specifications that this monitor has. So if I switch over to the DESVIEW website, I'll leave the link for this down below because it gives you full specifications that this monitor has. The monitor itself is called the R6. Now it's 2800 nits. It is incredibly bright, and in fact, I did just test it outside and I'll show you the footage as we're using it here. The only issue is over the last week it's been cloudy, but the day was still really bright when I shot this, and you can see how nice and bright and vivid the actual screen is on the back. And I love the way too that you can tilt it backwards and forwards as well, which is really nice. It looks really good on the camera. Like I said, it's not too big. In fact, let me just show you the size here. So you can see the size of the unit here. It fits quite well, and that's with the larger battery that I've got installed on it through here. And it's quite nice. Like I said, I love the way it tilts backwards and forwards, so you can get it to the right position. Like if you wanted to go high, you could lower it down. This is with the included DESVIEW little cold shoe adapter that it comes with. Overall, though, I think it's really good. Like I said, it'll also be good for on my Rowan RS as well. So let's have a look to it, what the specifications are. It's basically around, it's $269 US at the moment. That's through this side. Now, I'm not sure whether that varies if you go to Amazon and stuff. The actual size is 5.5 inches. Like I said, that's a really nice size, not too big. And not too small either. So it's a great size if you want to check things like exposure and critical focus and things like that, particularly seeing the way you can just zoom in. And I showed that when I did the demo of how that works and how bright this screen actually is. The only other thing I'm going to say, it's 16.7 million colors. You can take a 4K file into this monitor, which is great as well. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that needs to be discussed. The horizontal viewing angle is 178 degrees. The aspect ratio is 16.9. This is the amazing part about it, that the brightness is 2800 and the contrast ratio is 1000 to 1. So it is a really great monitor if you want to use this in daylight for run and gun type shoots as well, attached onto the top of your camera. It also does have full LUT support, so you can put LUTs into this, put it onto log on your camera, then select the LUT on the monitor, and it will give you the proper viewing of how it will appear when you take it in and edit it in your Final Cut. So that's a great feature as well. And that's about it for the actual specifications. So what do I think about this monitor? The image quality is beautiful. It is incredibly sharp and it seems to be great colors. And like I said, you can fully adjust those if you're not happy with how they are. It's great if you're doing things like critical focus and things like that. The only issue, I suppose, was you can hear the fan inside the monitor itself, but that's better than it shutting down. It's not really an issue for me because I never really use on-camera microphones. I'm always using off-camera microphones like lavaliers or wireless mics and things like that, so it's not an issue for me. But it just has to be something that you have to consider if you did want to use onboard microphones. It may pick up that fan noise that's inside that monitor. You can turn it off though. I'm just not sure how it will go if it gets very, very hot. There is an auto sensor on this as well, so if you do want to have it so it will balance to the light conditions, you can turn that on. I like to turn it off and just control it manually, but you have got a setting on there where it will adjust automatically to the ambient lighting that's there. There's a little sensor on the front of the unit. So thank you so much, DESVIEW, for sending me this. It's a really, really nice monitor. But like always, I always tell the truth of how I feel about these products. And from what I've used so far, it's really nice, apart from that little bit of fan noise that you can get if you use onboard microphones. Apart from that, if you have any questions, please leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I will put the link where you can purchase this. And apart from that, everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.